Inbal is amazing. The rest of the team that she has is amazing. So I think we should.
I think so.
Give it up
If you
for
move
that.
forward, Wes Anderson will walk through the door, everybody.
Yeah.
Let's give it up for Wes Anderson.
Come on, nice. Hi. Hello. How are you? We are doing great. How's everybody in the audience doing? Thank you so much for coming back from the break. A little bit of background about what we're going to do. We've been obsessing about Wes Anderson in the last 12 hours this week. And we were trying to see what kind of elements he uses in his movies, what kind of technique he uses in his movies. So many of them remind me personally of the fun and joy that we have in improvisation, and I think sometimes it's just fun to try them as a style, all right? So I think it was a pretty challenging workshop. Like, we worked really hard, and now we just want to show some of the stuff that we worked on. So the way we're going to do it is we're going to improvise short stories, very different one. Each one of them is going to be a world of it by its own, and those worlds will be inspired by the work of Wes Anderson. So therefore, the title of this show is Less Anderson. You guys, and that was Steve's idea, and I think it's great. We've worked hard enough, and now we just want to do our own thing inspired by him. What I want you to think for a second is take a minute. Does anybody know any of Wes Anderson movies? Yeah? Can you share some of the names that you remember from it? Sorry? What's that?
French.
The French Dispatch. What else?
Life Aquatic.
Life Aquatic. Grand Budapest Hotel. The Royal Tenenbaums.
Isle of Dogs.
Isle of Dogs.
Orange Box.
Scout one.
What is it?
Rushmore.
I forgot. Moonrise Kingdom. Rushmore. Moonrise Kingdom. Fantastic Mr. Fox, right? Thank you for all those lovely names. So inspired by those lovely names, I'm asking myself, if you could take a minute to close your eyes and imagine an imaginary Wes Anderson title. Don't tell me. I'm going to come back to ask for one. But take a minute to think of one. A Wes Anderson title. Does anyone have one for me just to get us going for the fourth short story? Yeah.
Ships don't sink.
Ships don't sink. Enjoy.
Crew, get behind me. Are you all there?
Yes, sir.
Louder. Get louder.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry, I'm late, son. Oh, Jesus, you again. All right. Are we ready for this?
Yes, sir.
Quicker answers. Are we ready for this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We are going on a voyage. It's the maiden voyage, sir.
Yes, sir.
Don't interrupt me.
Yes, sir.
Please, sir. Oh, God. What? No, shut up. Right. This is the maiden voyage of this ship.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
In 1922, Captain Ellicott Stenson set out on the maiden voyage of the Maiden Rose ship. She was accompanied by 2 crew members, Elliot and Bob. Little did they know, disaster was was soon to strike.
I know you all think that I'm in charge of this ship.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes Captain Ellicott lost her words.
This is the first time I've been a voyage like this. And I don't feel very confident right now because you're all fucking this up. So, clean the decks, yes sir! And, make sure that, you know, the lifeboats are ready.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Louder! Yes, sir! That's much better. And how many passengers have we?
2.
Oh,
And me. Some stowaways.
Bob and you add stowaway.
Yes, 2 stowaways.
2 stowaways, so that's a lot of people.
2 stowaways, sir.
Sir, why are we not moving?
You have to take the anchor up, sir.
Captain Ellicott had served many roles in her life. Captain was the latest. In all of these roles, she had failed to complete an important task.
You forgot the baby when you left the hospital.
I had a baby?
Captain,
Yes.
I mean, one day you will be a captain, but today
Yes,
you are here.
yes,
Oh,
I'm here.
you are here.
I am
You
here.
are here.
Yes.
Yes.
And certainly you have killed the king.
Like
your cooking.
My mother never told me to cook.
As a nursing student, you're supposed to give the medications to the patients, not take them yourself.
Oh, God.
As a stenographer for the court, you are officially supposed to be able to spell at least judge.
As a police officer, when you arrest someone, you're supposed to close the handcuffs and not let them get away.
Oh, well, look, I got
24 hours later on the maiden voyage,
I am the captain of this ship.
Yes, sir.
Well, you all fucking do what I tell you to do.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no nonsense from now on.
Bob.
Oh, do whatever you want to do.
in the distance, Bob spotted a submarine periscope poking out of the ocean, and Captain Ellicott,
Permission to speak, Captain.
Yes, permission to speak.
I see a periscope sticking out of the water. It's a submarine.
How do you spell periscope?
Yes, sir.
A P? Oh, this is periscope coming out of the water.
Captain, what will we do, sir?
What will we do?
Captain, it's dangerous.
It's dangerous. The periscope is dangerous, so we will,
Captain,
yes.
remember the last time you couldn't figure out what to do? What happened?
No.
I'm sure the narrator will tell us.
The patients had a cardiac arrest. You're supposed to do CPR. Come on, let's go.
Okay. Oh, but the periscope is gone. How am I meant to do that on? Oh, the air. I think I'll audition for a Broadway play.
and Captain Ellicott found her way to Broadway. This was long before the maiden voyage, but let's see, Broadway, 14 years previously. Captain Ellicott, before she was Captain Ellicott, and the Broadway players were immense failures. And that brings us to 5 minutes later in the Periscope.
What?
Captain Ellicott, there's a Periscope, here's the story.
Oh, he's the one I meant to be doing CPR on. Yeah, was that right?
And the main
Well, it
is
certainly got rid of him. I did something right. Listen, I did something right.
Captain, I think there's a hole on the side.
Of who?
Of the boat.
It's the stowaway.
It's a
He's
stowaway.
dead.
He's dead.
So. Next.
Find it in.
I know CPR.
Find it in. Go sail somewhere, find it in.
From now on my voyages, we will not accept stowaways.
Out.
Maiden Rose and Captain Ellicott sailed away alone, without crew, without stowaways, and the Russian submarine sunk terribly to the bottom of the ocean. And the story came. Show me the sad close. Show me the picture. Last picture of the Ellicott. Go from side to side. Side to side. Anybody else has a name for us? Yes.
A village ironic.
Village Ironic?
Yes. Or another title.
I like it. Village Ironic. Yeah, have fun.
In the village ironic things occur. If you're not sure of what ironic means, get ready to learn. Are very ironic.
Laura?
Puts a lot of pressure on us.
Yeah, sure it does.
I really like your hair that way.
Oh, thank you. Your pony is really good.
Thank you. Do you mean that?
I do.
Oh, I didn't.
In the previous life, Clarence had a real pony. He didn't take very good care of it.
Come on, down, Blackie, down!
Clarence was not a success with animals.
I'm kind of afraid of raccoons. But you're kind of cute.
21 baby shots later, Clarence did not think the raccoon was very cute.
What's a badger? Are you a badger? Can I get some domesticated animals, please?
The irony of this is Clarence doesn't like animals deep down in his heart. He hates animals.
I'm not fond of animals. I can't seem to get along with them. A golden retriever. Licking his paws like a cat. That's interesting and fun.
10 minutes later, in real time, in the ironic situation that our heroes found themselves,
Hold hands.
were presented,
Hold hands.
they were presented with the opportunity to acknowledge each other as true life.
You make me want to be a better person.
You make me want to aspire to great things.
You make me want to live with you and with any animal that might come along.
Along with irony, they suffer from a bit of metaphor. And Clarence does not really mean animals.
I don't really mean animals. What I mean is any other being that might happen along, whether animal or stone or vegetable or...
Well, I'm glad I got here first.
Funny that Clarence mentioned stone because there were a number of stone creations that were on the lawn. And they had a somewhat menacing look about them.
Have menacing faces.
Let's look at our statuary in our ironic house.
Yes, let's. Oh,
Truly ironic.
so ironic.
These are misplaced gargoyles.
Are they from Notre Dame?
Or Notre Damus.
This one's particularly ugly, but somehow I love her.
And it was love at first gargoyle sight.
Oh, if only she could come to life.
Well, Clarence, maybe she can. Will she join us then?
I'm not sure they're still in us, if I'm being honest with you.
Oh no, Clarence. I was the first one to come along. I supported you with all your strange statuaries.
Irony of it is, the irony of it is that Clarence was truly in love with the gargoyle.
I can see I don't have a place here. That is, unless I can fall in love with one of these other gargoyles.
Louder.
One of these
Louder.
other gargoyles. Do you think this will work, Clarence? I do.
I love how our life is working out. 10 minutes ago, I thought it was just you. And now, it's all of us.
Yes, it's the
Except-
four of us.
Except that. We should bring them in too.
Yes, let's do that and make a big party of it, Clarence.
And they did. It was a rollicking time. Those gargoyles danced under the moonlight. Those gargoyles danced to the friggin' end of the world.
Symmetry. What time?
world with the light of the beautiful morning sun. The gargoyles were back in their normal position, and our ironic heroes were holding hands.
It was a wonderful day we spent, Clarence.
An ironic night we spent frolicking with our gargoyles.
Yes. And one ran away, but came back.
I believe it has brought me even closer to you.
Oh, Clarence, I could not be more close to you.
This, my friends, is a very ironic situation.
Can we please have one more name of the Wes Anderson story that was never written or stole?
Miniature Majesty.
Did you hear that?
Nope. Miniature Majesty.
Miniature Majesty. Yeah? Amazing.
The Miniature Majesty was writing a very elaborate letter. It was in a kind of ancient, scrolling verses that is very difficult to read now. Back then.
My dearest Linda, here in the miniature castle, I find myself drinking tea and thinking longingly of your beautiful long locks.
Dear David, as I sit here so far away from you, my dreams go towards you and wonder when we will ever meet again.
My dearest Linda, when my butler brought me my delicious tea today, I felt myself drowning in the dream of your love.
My dearest David, my dreams have gone all askew. I am dreaming of picking tea leaves in India.
Dearest Linda, my last journey to Istanbul ended in a tragedy.
My
I broke
dearest
my
David,
toe.
I wish I could travel with you. I have never been.
My dearest Linda, next time I go to London, I'm bringing you with me somehow.
My dearest David, it has been a long time since you brought me something. When are you going to London?
My dearest Linda, on January 2nd, 1977, I will leave
My dearest David, how will you get so quickly to London?
My dearest Linda, I will travel down the tower of my miniature castle, and I will swing on my locks and find my way to London at 3:42.
My dearest David, I cannot read the clock, but that sounds very early.
My dearest Linda, 3:42 in the afternoon.
My dearest David, stop annoying me with numbers.
My dearest Linda, over the river Thames.
My dearest David, London is very
3:42, my dearest Linda, 3:42 the bridge.
Ding, ding, ding.
My dearest David, there is something sounding in my brain that is not letting me understand my dreams anymore.
My dearest Linda, the alarm is 3:42.
My dearest David, I'm sick. I can't
The bridge!
London.
Now, this was the first time they had laid eyes upon one another. All they had done before was lay eyes on their cursive. Now they the design of their letters that these things were not necessarily true.
My dearest Linda, my heart has been completely overwhelmed by the power of your cursive, and yet you are short.
I may be short, dearest David. But so what?
So what, indeed? But still, your cursive was tall and proud, and I was looking for that.
My dearest David, we were both looking for something, but so what?
Linda had her own expectations because David's letters, although very flowery, were quite tiny, and she was not expecting this.
My dearest Linda, you look shocked to see me. I know that I'm short.
My dearest David, I have nothing against short. I find you extremely aggressive, which did not point out in the letters you wrote to me of dreams and tea and castles and London and 342 or something.
My dearest Linda, just because I drink tea doesn't mean that I'm a whippy-woo.
After all, they were wonderful.
Well, say something then, Linda.
Something.
They decided that they would sit down and have a cup of tea together and try to have it think out.
Hey, sit.
They sat in their miniature chairs, in their miniature teacups.
What tea would you like?
A small cup, please.
A small cup of tea. Would you like an Earl Grey, Lady Grey, Oolong, Darjeeling?
Which is the smallest.
Lady Grey.
Louder, louder. Crumpets, crumpets, tiny crumpets.
Honey crumpets?
Great. Everybody louder.
The crumpets on the sides
So
of Inbal.
Tiny crumpets?
Indeed, delicious, delicious.
Would you like some tiny cucumber sandwiches?
Oh, Daddy,
Without the crust.
Of course.
look at the tiny ladies.
They're adorable.
Daddy,
Yes.
Daddy, do you think that Mommy might, like,
Shall we buy them? Is that what you're suggesting?
we could carry them home in our little carpet bag?
Well, perhaps we should inquire at the proprietor.
They had chosen an unfortunate place to have tea. They were at Paris.
David, my dearest David, I must admit, I like the way you drink your tea.
No.
Linda, my dearest,
Yes, dearest David.
I also like the way you drink your tea. Your shortness isn't as offensive to me here. Your tea drinking is divine.
There are odd things that draw people together. There are odd things that draw people together. Sometimes it's the taste of crumpets, or the taste of tea, or the way one writes in cursive. But Queen Anne had talked her father into letting her have these miniatures from Paris.
Oh, Daddy, Daddy, I will be ever good queen when I grow up, because you meet my every wish.
Dear, I'm afraid I have to tell you that I have just abolished the purchasing of humans. We cannot go through with this.
If you say so.
And that is how slavery ended in England. Long before it happened in the United States.
One more.
Yes, the corduroy dilemma.
The what?
The corduroy dilemma.
The corduroy dilemma.
I don't know what that is.
Do you know what a corduroy?
Corduroy.
The corduroy dilemma. You guys are fantastic. The corduroy dilemma.
And my rompers are soft.
Yes,
They're made of synthetic, synthetic nylon that comes from the spinning of latex-based materials on in factories that employ techniques that are not biodegradable or friendly.
darling, stand up. Stand up. Now take that off. Go ahead, take it off. Listen to mommy.
Do I have to?
Yes, you do. I know it's soft, I know it feels very cozy, but it wasn't cozy to the people who made it. Now, these jeans with little stripes were made from cotton in the United States. Organic, biodegradable.
Is that EV 15032 processed and certified?
Yes, yes it is.
Yes. 3205, 1528, processed and certified as well.
1528?
1528. Now, darling, put them on.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe they're a little bit more firm feeling than the synthetic clothes that you've been wearing.
I feel cleaner somehow.
You are so politically correct.
Of course I am, Mother. Not only that, but I have been at many. I've been at many protests. I've been watching from a distance how people march for women's rights, and I fully support that Roe v. Wade be reinitiated.
Eleanor and her mother frequently had these kinds of politically correct discussions. In fact, as she has grown to a teenager, this has happened more and more, and they are in an intense competition for who is the most politically correct.
Let me sit down.
You realize that there are many children in poverty who don't have a chair to sit in.
Of course I realize that, Mother. There is a large percentage of the world that lives at an income level that we would, for a whole year, they make what we would make in a week.
Yes, and I'm shipping your chair off to a needy child.
Mother, that is what they call trivial.
Trivial.
It's a trivial token response that's inappropriate.
Trivial? You're calling my efforts trivial?
No, Mother, I was calling you trivial.
This was an unusual interaction. Another assumed that Eloise had become too hormonal.
Mother, my Pitocin levels are elevated at extreme level, and I know that it coincides with your menopause and your hormones that are at extreme level. And I forgive you. I love you. But it's not my fault your estrogen is deficient.
Jason, discipline our child.
Oh dear, she's winning.
That's why I want you to discipline her.
I will not discipline her.
Daddy doesn't like that estrogen is missing.
Oh, now you're ganging up on me. You told you were ganging up on me. Well, just see what kind of dinner you get tonight.
Oh, Mommy.
This was another shift in their dynamics. Now it was 2 against 1. She had successfully split off her father for herself.
Oh, I do love you so, Dad.
And I love you, dear.
Is it called Ophelia?
Yes.
I'm chasing Ophelia.
I'm just chasing
Lover?
the love of my only daughter, who I lost, and now I've found.
Oh, dear me. Could we find it within ourselves to forgive Mother and be nice to her?
Oh, Eloise found a wonderful, wonderful way to change the dynamics, and was showing her maturity in doing so.
The world, Mother, the whole world is reaching out for you, Mother.
Well, I suppose the whole world.
And her heart began to melt, realizing what a gesture this was in such a horrible world that she lived in. But this was real humanity coming to her.
All right. I'll make fondue for dinner.
Thank you, Mommy.
But it's going to be vegetarian.
Yeah? We have time for one more one. And then we're gonna go. Think carefully. What's the name you're giving us this time?
Mount St. Helens.
Mount St. Helens. I would suggest it could be just a fun montage of all the people who made it to the peak of Mount St. Helens.
Before it exploded.
Before it exploded, of course. Does that make sense? So we can have a narrator, but basically like a lot of colors of people who arrived there. Let's start with some.
Mount St. Helens, a mountain, a volcano, a peak to be conquered. And yet, how many people have died at the foot or at the peak of this mountain? Many, many have died. Many have tried to get to the top, but some didn't have enough provisions. Some didn't have enough water. Some just didn't have the stamina.
Who did?
One person though, one person and one only succeeded where others, many, many others had failed. Julie wasn't prepared for the climb. She was just out for a walk in her sandals. She started walking and walking and walking and stepping over corpses as she went along. She realized she was getting very far up this mountain.
I'm going back down, it's a long way up there.
the voices of the dead.
I think Google Maps has sent me in the wrong direction. Well, I'll go with it.
Julie!
The voices of the dead were warning her. The souls of the dead were trapped on the side of the mountain.
We're so trapped.
And yet Julie didn't understand what they were saying, so she kept walking.
Julie?
Yes,
Julie?
yes,
Do you hear?
I hear you.
Julie
Magda?
heard one of the corpses speak to her. One of the
Magda?
souls.
Magda?
It's me, Magda.
Magda?
Julie.
Yes, Magda.
Julie, I have to tell you. This trip up the side of the mountain's dangerous, and I think you'll regret it.
Regret?
I'm dead. But I second that.
I'm sorry, I don't know your name. Kachina?
Kachina.
Kachina!
Kachina died 30 years before I did. Although you'd never know it.
I thought I was the only living creature on this mountain. You told me I was the only living creature on the mountain.
Are the only living creature on the mountain. They are not living, they are dead.
They're all dead.
Something's holding my leg.
Well,
Julie! My name's Frederick.
Frederick!
Frederick died in 1912.
I remember that story. Frederick was a brigadier general and very full of himself. And he led a whole troop up the side of the mountain. And it was a glorious thing. It was an amazing thing, the way those people followed his every command.
Julie was misremembering one small, tiny detail. It was indeed glorious when they started out, but it was less glorious when they all died.